Protoss that have gone for Sarah Reaver by getting out Scourges early and taking on the Corsairs pretty early on. If Stork can manage to keep those Corsairs alive long enough to build up a few of them, he may be able to hold out in this game longer, and then he will definitely have the advantage, I think. But he's being surrounded by Scourges now. Yeah, so Jaedong actually started off by producing a lot of Scourges, trying to pick off those early Corsairs. Those first few Corsairs are absolutely critical, and as a Zerg player, if you can pick those... Oh, and one gets picked off! One gets picked off. The other is diving into Jaedong's main base as well to do some more scouting. That's probably going to get picked off as well, at the very least chased around. That was tragic for Stork. He's probably... if Jaedong decides to go for Mutalisk or something, it looks like he's concentrating on economy at this point. Just put out a few Scourges to just try and keep Stork pinned in his base. But this is not looking good at all for Stork at this point. Scourge is just running around his base, and he's got a few Dragoons out, so he's going to be able to take care of the Scourges a little bit easier with those. He won't necessarily just have to always run back to his main. Now, Stork, he needed to get that scout in, I have to admit, because he didn't know if Jaedong could have switched over to Hydralisks as well and gone for a Hydra bust. He does have that den there, but Stork could have theoretically spotted a bunch of Hydralisks out. So it was just as it was important for him to get some Corsairs out, it was equally important for him to get that Reaver out, just in case some sort of ground bust was going in there. And now Stork moving out with a lot of Dragoons, actually. There's the Hydralisks now. Jaedong, I guess, has decided with all those Mutalisks in the area, he doesn't want to try and go for, what did I just say? With all the Dragoons in the area, rather, he does not want to go for Mutalisks. And so now he's going to be a little bit on the defensive here. He's going to have to get some stuff up to defend. I don't think the amount of Hydralisks he has is quite enough, but he has like a ton of hatcheries right now. And so he's going to be able to put out, if he sees this, he's going to be able to put out a lot of ground forces pretty quickly. There is a Reaver as well, and that is in that shuttle, and that's going to be critical as well. If he Scourges the... Oh, the shuttle almost... Oh, if that shuttle goes down, it's going to be horrible. The shuttle goes down. He's going to be able to snipe the Reaver. Zerglings come in from both sides, and those Dragoons are completely surrounded. Stork microing them decently well, but I think he's going to lose this battle. There's just too many Zerglings. He didn't have enough Zealots to protect them. The Reaver would have been what was necessary to protect against these Zerglings, but the Scourges picking off that shuttle and coming in with Zerglings from the opposite side at just the perfect moment to take out that Reaver. Beautifully done indeed by Stork. And now he was microing very well, but he must have diverted his attention to macroing for a moment, and his Dragoons get surrounded and picked off. So now it's Stork's turn to be defensive. I'm sure has another Reaver popping out right now. He's got a lot of gateways to put out some more Dragoons, hopefully some Zealots as well. But Stork is now the one that's pinned inside his base. Jaedong is expanded to a 4th base. He's probably going to get a 5th soon as well. And yeah, things not looking good for Stork, I have to say. Where's that Reaver? There's the Reaver. And Citadel going down, so he's going to try and tech to Templars. And he's going to need speed lots eventually as well. Probably. It looks like Stork's probably going to devote to a more ground-based thing. He has not built Corsairs. I guess he's just given up. Both players have just kind of given up the air battle. And so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, so Stork, he's gone for the... I'm not sure if he's going to stick with the Reavers or not. You know, he may just go for the ground forces. I mean, that's one of the... There's Sarah Reaver is one option. You can go for the Sarah DT harassment sort of thing. But then the other, old standby is just to go for just a bunch of ground units and just try and get this ball of Protoss units. Oh, Jaedong, you sneaky, sneaky guy. Jaedong is going to plant squads of burrowed Hydralisks around the map, particularly in that expansion, because that 3 o'clock expansion is where Stork is going to try to expand to next. So, theoretically, he could be waiting in case a Nexus goes up or something like that. He'll kill the Nexus, but it would be better for Jaedong if he was able to catch shuttles and Corsairs moving out of his base or something like that. It looks like there's still some units burrowed over there. I could be wrong, but yeah, we saw... Who was that? I think it was Jaedong do that against the Protoss recently. I don't remember what game it was for some reason. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Jaedong. Was it Jaedong versus Much? Maybe? Maybe that's who it was? Or Bisu, maybe? I don't remember. I don't remember exactly. For some reason, I can't remember what particular game that was. But someone did that on this map where they... Reavers and Corsairs were flying over that 3 o'clock base. the Hydralisk popped out from burrow and killed off a few Corsairs. It was just beautiful. I think that was Jaedong. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Maybe that was. All right, I'm gonna stop pondering it. I'm sure by now someone has commented what game that was because I can't remember at the moment. So Stork sticking with the Reavers. He's not just gonna go completely with Zealots and Dragoons and what have you. And that might be an advantage if he can protect those Reavers, but he needs to watch out for Hydralisk trying to snipe him in. Very good. Stork has excellent Reaver shuttle micro when he's on top of it. And here we go. On two fronts, Stork having to split his forces and still coming out ahead. Brilliant by Stork. Somehow managed to use the micro his forces around. He saved that shuttle critically. Jaedong didn't. I think part of it was he couldn't. He split Stork's forces, but Stork had just had too many forces, basically. If it was a smaller force, it might have worked to split Stork's forces a little bit like that. And also, critically, Jaedong did not run in and snipe the shuttle or the Reaver. And that is really what he needed to do, because the Reaver was the part that was just owning him. Maybe Jaedong was macroing, maybe he was concentrating on the wrong battle, but he just got a lot of stuff taken out here. And now Stork going into Jaedong's main base here. Stork could have his revenge at this rate for that OSL that Stork thought was his. He barely even practiced for that OSL because he just thought it was his OSL for the taking. And Jaedong came back and just completely owned him in that best of 5. Stork was completely unprepared. Stork, however, looks to be doing decently well at this point. He may be able to come back and at least take game 1 in the World Cyber Games finals. Jaedong, macroing like a fiend, has managed to come back. Though, look at it. Oh, man, Stork. I didn't even realize Stork hasn't even taken his 3rd base yet. Stork has not even taken his 3rd base yet. He's running off of 2 bases at this point. And that's crazy. So now coming in here, Stork, and critically, there's no Scourge. There's the Scourges, and let's see if he can get the shuttle. The Dragoons almost saved the shuttle. Dragoons almost saved the shuttle, not quite. Last-ditch Scarab gets out and manages to take out a few more Hydralisks, making that a little bit worthwhile. But man, Stork actually is now in a little bit of trouble. I thought he was going to be macroing off of 3 bases, and man, he had a definite advantage there, but it appears that Stork just he didn't keep his advantage and keep map control and expand. He just decided to go in and end up losing his forces. I admit that I underestimated Jaedong's macro at that point. It looked like Stork was going to be able to run right into his front door. But critically, he didn't have his Reavers with him when he was going into that front door. His shuttle was back at his main base, and so he wasn't able to kill off the gajillion Hydralisks that popped out of Jaedong's hatcheries at that point. So things have turned back in Jaedong's favor. I mean, he has 5 bases, it looks like. I can't tell if the 6 o'clock position is a base or not. But Jaedong has a ton of bases. Stork, I think, is just finally getting up that 3rd base within his area, I guess, his territory, on his ramp. Man, so Stork is probably going to get pretty much out-macroed here in a minute if he doesn't do something quick. Yeah, there's another base, and possibly at 6 o'clock as well. Oh, man, that is a ton of Hydralisks. Stork doesn't even have storms. He needs Psystorm right now to deal with this. His Shuttle Reaver Micro is brilliant, but it's not quite brilliant enough. And it looks like I spoke too soon when Stork had the advantage. Just Jaedong just macroing like a damn fiend, and there's just nothing Stork can do about this. There's just too much, I think. And finally, the shuttle goes down, and so the Reaver's going to go down next there. It's going to get one last Scarab off, but it's not quite enough to save. Jaedong just has more reinforcements coming in. Stork GG's. Jaedong takes game 1. This is a best of 3, so that is a major advantage here going into game 2. Man, I really thought Stork had it there for a minute, but Jaedong shows that he is back in form. GG. Let's move on to game 2.